we jump on to today's session, building a sales mindset. So we all know we're going to talk sales today, and how we as entrepreneurs need to have a relationship with sales. So I think who better than Rashid to get started with this? Without much ado, Rashid, over to you. And thank you, Suranjika, for setting this up for us. Please, let's start.
Cool. Thank you so much. Really nice to be with the TapstartX community. Very excited to be running the session with all of you as well. I'm going to say special thank you to everyone with videos on. Otherwise, it gets very boring presenting into black boxes. So thank you very much for making this a pleasurable morning for me as well. I am just going to share my screen, get all the logistics in order so that we make the most of our hour together. So can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please? Yes, you can see this beautiful photo of mine on this side. Sorry, my team, we invested a little bit of money in a photo shoot. So any opportunity we get, we chapo my picture everywhere to be like, hey, we are using it. You know, it was a good investment of money. I have also noticed I'm wearing the same shirt. So that is a little bit of a faux pas that I will rectify a little bit later. But excited to be with all of you today. Like I said, I want to make the most of the time we have together. And so let's just get started. I think, thank you for the wonderful introduction of it. I'm just going to do a super quick version of that introduction as well, but y'all know all of the headlines. I went to business school from University of Bath. I graduated thinking I know everything about business. My dream is to become an entrepreneur. I was all set to start my own company. And then Accenture waved a really nice looking check in my face and said, hey, do you want to postpone your dreams for a bit? We'll pay you really well for it. And I immediately was like, yes, sounds like a great idea. I'll postpone my dreams. I will stay in London with some friends and learn a whole bunch. I learned a lot about the power of process from Accenture, and that's something I bring with me today as well. That process can really help you scale a business. That was my biggest learning while I was there. They promoted me at Accenture, which was really nice, felt good about what work I was doing, but it also told me where I was heading. So what I did is the next day I handed in my notice because I didn't want to stay within that field. I wanted to start my own thing eventually. So I came back to India and dove into the world of design thinking, where I became a practitioner and coach. For those of you who don't know what design thinking is, it's a creative problem solving process. So any nerds over here who love books and videos and going deep into a rabbit hole, design thinking is a nice little rabbit hole for you to go into if you would like. It's very helpful for entrepreneurs as well. Eventually, I started my social enterprise called I for India, which helped NGOs solve different types of problems, helped NGOs solve problems and made me feel good about myself. But I am not as noble as all of the other amazing social impact warriors out there. For me personally, I needed a little bit of that green money to keep me motivated and keep moving forward as well. So I decided to move on, and I combined all of my learnings and put them into business coaching. Where I helped different types of entrepreneurs grow and scale their business, solve their top problems. I got hooked from the moment I started doing this, seeing the results that they got, and more importantly, how they were feeling. That really got me excited. So I formalized all of this and started my company called Jigsaw Thinking. It's been 4 years now. We've worked with more than 1,000 entrepreneurs. I'd love to take a couple of minutes right at the end to share with you a little bit about Jigsaw Thinking. But for now, let's get into why we're here in the first place. I always like starting any session about any topic with the question why, because I think it's important for us to reestablish why we're here talking about sales and why we're spending time with sales. Okay? I have been known or people have told me my style is sometimes a little bit crass and a little bit ruthless. But now, since I've been doing it for a while, I don't run away from that. I lean into it. So I might be a little crass and candid as we talk today, but I think it's far more important for me to be valuable than nice to all of you. So I am going to start by being crass. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business. That is why we're here to talk about sales. Right? So if you don't have sales, you have this wonderful passion project, something that you're really interested in. Amazing, very exciting. And if that's what you're looking to do, then there's nothing wrong with having a passion project and spending time and effort in your passion project. But if you are looking to build a business and you don't have sales, then you're not really building a business. Right? Sales and getting clients and making money and profit is what differentiates a passion project from a business. So if you don't have sales, you don't have a business, and that's why we're talking about sales today. The second reason why we're talking about sales is because a lot of us as entrepreneurs have this script in our head, which is goes a little something like this. I create these amazing products. I am so good at this. I'm one of the best at it. I've spent my life doing this, last 3 years doing it, committed to this fully. My products are amazing. If only someone else could come and solve the sales issue for me, everything would be amazing, because that's the only thing I need help with. And today we are going to try and get this script out of our head once and for all, because if you as the entrepreneur are not on fire about sales, your sales are not going to be on fire. This is not me saying that an entrepreneur has to do everything all of the time and, do 1,000 things and juggle 100 different balls at the same time. Even if you have a team, the fire of sales has to come from you. Otherwise, you're not going to have great sales in your business. And as we know and have established, without sales, you don't have a business. So today is about, yes, moving forward on sales and getting techniques that can help you with sales. But perhaps even more importantly is about starting your journey to fall in love with sales a little bit. Because if you don't fall in love with sales, your organization's not going to be a sales based organization. You're not going to have sales. You're not going to have a business. Okay, so let's start that journey towards falling in love with sales and getting our sales on fire today. Okay? Let me walk you through how we're going to do this. It's really simple. I am going to focus on 3 sales mindsets. Okay, this sales workshop could be 94 hours instead of being 1 hour. If we had to go through absolutely every nook and cranny about sales, but these 3 essential mindsets are 80% of the game. If we get these 3 sales mindsets, we start building them, and we start actually not just thinking about them, but being them and acting them out, then we are very likely to move up in the sales world. And then we can unlock the next problem that we have and try and solve it. Right. So today's goal is to get 3 essential sales mindsets that'll get us 80% of the way. Okay. That's the key focus. As much as possible, I want us to get started in the session, not just learn in the session. So there will be times today where you will be doing an activity, whether that's on your phone, whether that's in the Zoom chat, whether that's on your notepad. I encourage you very strongly to take part in these activities, because otherwise you're going to end today with, hey, I feel really good that I learned a little bit of something. And then on Monday morning, you're going to forget absolutely everything because there's going to be traffic or emails. And then everything's going to go out of your head. But if you start to do the activity, magical things happen because you started. And once you push a snowball down a hill, it starts to gather pace. So we're going to focus on trying to get started in the session itself. Okay. The methods I'm going to teach you today and the mindsets, this is exactly what we use at Jigsaw. I am not going to not reveal anything and, this I'm going to hold back, nothing. I'm just going to share exactly how we share with our community of Jigsaw members as well, so that you're going to get all the value I can possibly bake into this 1 hour. Okay, that's my promise. Your promise needs to be that you will get involved and interactive and do things. Otherwise, you're not going to get the value. Okay. So to start with, let's test whether this activity and engagement is actually going to happen. Can you share on the Zoom chat whether you are ready to start with mindset number 1? Okay, let's test out. Are we warming up our fingers a little bit? Okay, yes, yes. Ooh, Juhi, I like your certainly. Makes me feel even better. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Got it. All right. Thank you very much. Let's start with sales mindset 1. But before that, I want to tell you how we are going to learn today. My introduction said I love rereading Harry Potter. I also love rewatching the Avengers movie. They just make me feel good. And it's fun, whether you critically enjoy them or not. I have a great time. So today we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn from our favorite superheroes. Okay, the idea is that we need to become lean means selling machines, and we can learn from superheroes. So we're going to focus on acquiring 3 superpowers today. Okay, that's what we're going to focus on. These 3 superpowers can help us get out of a lot of sticky situations. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so sales mindset number 1 is inspired by my favorite superhero, who everybody else seems to think is not a superhero at all. My favorite superhero from the Avengers series is Hawkeye. Okay, now Whether you know Avengers or you don't know Avengers, from the picture, you can probably tell me what do you think is Hawkeye's superpower? So let's use the chat. What superpower do you think we are going to talk about? Madhumita, I had planned that I would spend like 3-4 minutes on each guest, and then you've got it in one. So thank you very much. Focus is 100% the first superpower. Okay. The number one lesson for all entrepreneurs when it comes to sales is focus wins. As entrepreneurs, we love what I call shiny distractions. Shiny distractions are things that distract us from our focus and the things we don't enjoy doing, but are shiny enough for us to say, oh, wow, what a great opportunity. Oh, I can put my creative input to the test. I love creating things. That's how you became an entrepreneur in the first place, because you created something that didn't exist. So any opportunity you have to create something new, you run towards it. And we all do this. It's human nature. But in the long run, focus wins. So the first superpower for any entrepreneur when it comes to sales is focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice this superpower of focus and start building it in today's session. I'm going to walk you through a really simple activity step by step with an example. I want you to follow along with this activity. No, not in your head, on a piece of paper, or making sure you're documenting it digitally on your phone, your laptop, wherever it is. Please make sure you do this activity. Don't just think about the activity, because then you're going to think about it, then you're going to try and remember it, and the brain is so much more powerful than just a place to remember things. So let's not waste our amazing RAM space in this brain on trying to remember. Let's write things down so that we can actually learn, okay, and do stuff. First lesson of focus is to identify the target. If Hawkeye doesn't know what he's shooting at, every shot is going to be the wrong shot, because he's not identified a target. So the first thing you need to do in sales is come up with a target. Now, I understand that you might not have all the skills in the world to scientifically figure out what your target is, and should it be 8.3% or 9.6% more than last year? I wouldn't really be worrying about any of that stuff. Let's be honest, none of us here are running Infosys where we have all the data over the last 20 years. We know exactly our percentages, what needs to be grown. It's a little bit of an art. I want you to come up with what I will call your V1 goal, version 1 goal, which means you can change it over time if you're not feeling great about it tomorrow. But for now, I need you to come up with a goal. Here are the rules of coming up with the goal. Okay, 3 rules. Rule number 1, the time limit has to be at least more than 3 months and should not be months. So if you are coming up with a 3-year goal, great, but you need to break it down to your 12-month goal. If you are not able to see 1 year ahead, perhaps because you've just started recently, at least come up with your goal for the quarter. You should be able to tell yourself, your team, whoever else, boss, for July, August, September, I know what I'm going after. So that's the timeline. The second rule is there has to be a number. The number can either be revenue or profit. Please don't come up with 40 different metrics that you're going to consider. Oh, I'll get these many clients and these many newspaper articles and all of that. Great. I'm sure it will help. But your number one goal is to build a business that has revenue and profit. I will leave you to decide whether revenue and or profit is your number one goal right now, because it really depends on type of industry, scale of business, situation you're in. Are you in your growth phase or are you in your profitability phase? But pick one. Please don't pick both, because then things start to get confusing. If you pick revenue, it's not like we're going to make 100% loss and try and go at that revenue. Obviously, we're going to be smart about it, right? So that's the second rule. The third rule is that your goal should make you a little bit uncomfortable. If you come up with a goal that you are just like, ye to 100% will happen, I know exactly how it will happen, I know exactly what I want to do, then you're not setting ambitious enough goals. What you should feel is what I was feeling before this workshop, which is a few butterflies in the stomach. Going, hey, I'm confident about what I do, etc. But still, I care about this goal enough. There are enough variables that I'm a little bit nervous about how I'm going to achieve it. Then you're pushing yourself as an entrepreneur. Okay. So those are the 3 rules. Please set your goal in terms of time, number, and make sure you're a little bit uncomfortable. And please share in the Zoom chat once you are ready to move forward. Okay, so just share ready or done when you are done with setting this goal. Okay, Madhumita, thank you. Anirudh got it. Swoop, I don't know your name. I know your brand name though. Done, got it. Shweta, Juhi, Priyanshu, thank you. Thanks, Imani. Alicia, thanks for clarifying. Okay, great. Let's move to the next part of focus. We're staying with this mindset, okay? We're not losing focus. We're sticking with this mindset all the way through this activity. What you're going to do next is the activity that some entrepreneurs run away from, but we are not allowed to because you have signed up for this workshop and you're here with me now. So you can't run away. You have to do this activity, okay? You have to choose. Entrepreneurship is about making tough decisions. I am sure you sell loads of products or have multiple services and different types of projects that you do. I want you to now choose what is your most popular product and simple product to sell. It's okay if you are not sure, oh, these two are very close. Just for the sake of the activity, please pick one. Because what happens when you pick one is you have focus and you put all your creative energy into how am I going to sell that? And that might get you 80% of the way. Okay, so in my example, I've got, okay, our community is our focus. Okay, so we do community courses, coaching, etc. I would just pick one. As much as I love our courses, as much as I love coaching, you have to pick one that you're going to focus on. Okay. The thought experiment that we're running now, I'm not saying don't sell anything else you have. The thought experiment is the path of least resistance towards our goal is going to be the focused goal where we sell most of this product or service. So why create complexities for ourselves? Let's focus and try and win. Okay. So pick one. Again, please share in the chat when you're done, however hard it might feel to pick, who's my favorite child. I understand it's hard, but you're forced to pick. Okay, done. Got some more. Okay, awesome. Let's move. Next thing you need to do is crunch the numbers. This is really basic. Okay, so I've just put placeholder numbers here to keep the math easy because I don't want to do live math on this call. Okay, in case I get it wrong. So here is how I would crunch the numbers. If the value of my product is 25,000, so can you all note this down with me, please? So whichever product or service you have picked, please put down the value of that product or service. Okay, what is the number? Okay. Now you all know that your target is a particular number. Please put your target at the end of 12 months, 3 months, whatever you have picked that target. Yeah. Now through the magical wonders of math, we are going to divide. And we're going to come up with how many sales do we need to make of that product to hit our goal. Basic division. Target divided by value per product will tell you how many of that product you need to sell in that time frame. Remember, this is a thought experiment. I know 100% of your sales might not come from one place, but it's just trying to make you understand the power of focus. Okay. Basic division done. I've obviously cheated and made the numbers really simple for me to come up with numbers. Yours might be a bit more complicated. So I'll give you an extra 10 seconds. Okay. Now starting to realize why our school used to have those mental math exams also. I hated them at the time, but I guess it's valuable. Okay, next what you're going to do is you're going to stick with this focus. If your number of sales you need to make is 100, I want you to note down what is your current conversion rate. If you don't have data, first side note is please start tracking data. In the future, it'll be helpful for you in moments like this to make big decisions. If you don't have data, it's fine. Go with your gut, basic anecdotal evidence of how many leads do you need to convert one sale. So in this example, forget 1 in 5, 20, all of this percentage. Basically, I need 5 leads to convert one sale according to this example. So you can just put number of leads per sale. Everybody's world of leads might be different. For some of you, leads might be people who walk into the store. For some of you, it might be people who fill in a form through our website. For some of you, it might be people who DM us. So out of the number of people who DM you on Instagram, how many do you need to convert one? Okay, so let's say 5 is the number. Okay, everyone, please put your number down. Okay. Then through the magic of math, we are going to use a different mathematical function called multiplication, and we're going to multiply number of sales multiplied by number of leads required per sale. So if I need to make 100 sales and it takes me 5 leads to convert one sale, I need 500 leads. Okay, so let's do basic multiplication, please. And I promise you at some point today, the math will stop. So please stick with me. After this mindset, you all don't have to think about too much math. Okay, cool. Done. Number of leads you've got. Now just think about what you've done in the last 5 minutes. Even if you've not done it perfectly and your numbers go up and down 20%, you basically have created your Google Maps for your goal. You have basically said, I now know my destination. I know the easiest path without tolls to get to my destination. This is what I have to do. This is how much time I have to do it. It might not be easy to do, but at least you now have clarity on, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to generate 500 leads. I have to convert 1 out of 5, and I have to sell this popular product. If I do these 3 things, I would hit my goals. Okay. In the chat, it's been shared. We should do this each week. 100% you should be doing this. We go a bit extra at Jigsaw. In our team, we do it for the year. We break it down to the quarter. We break it down to the month. We break it down to the week. Every day, everyone in the team knows exactly what their goals are. There's a run rate. Really simple. But there is clarity, and clarity is very liberating because then it tells you, oh, this is what I have to do. And then you can start asking yourself, this new opportunity that has come up, is it part of my focus or is it a shiny distraction? Should I be spending time on it? Should I be losing sleep over it, or do I need to focus? Okay. Once you've crunched the numbers, I want you to actually start addressing these numbers. So let's say number of leads is 500. Okay. And I need 1 in 5. I'm still going to focus and I'm going to ask you the question to generate these 500 leads. Let's say not 500. Let's say we can generate 50 of these leads, okay, from people who have already signaled interest in your product or your service previously. Okay? So in my example, I have said people who have DM'd us on Instagram asking about Jigsaw HQ, that would be my target. The challenge that happens when we're thinking about marketing and sales, etc., is we start from blank canvas and we say, what are our 76 ideas to market and generate leads? And that's very tough, very exciting and fun, but very tough to action. So at least start with, where is one place where I think I'll have a reasonable. So I want you all to pick one group of people who are leads for you that you can sell this particular product to, that have already signaled an interest. They could have signaled an interest in any way, sent you a WhatsApp message, IGDM, commented on a LinkedIn post saying, oh, wow, this seems really interesting. Any specific thing, but you can only choose one set of people. Okay. So please choose that set of people and say done in the chat. Okay, Sanjana, Anirudh, thank you. We'll wait for a few more. Priyanshu, Alicia, Madhumita, thank you. Rashmi, Sanskriti, okay, we've got close to 50%. So I will move, right? Okay. Now that you have figured out who this is, I don't want you to stop and think about this. I want you to get into action, and we're going to get into action in the next 90 seconds. I want you to pick one person or one lead from this group. Okay, think about the person's name. One person. I don't want you to think generically, conceptually about this mythical lead. Okay, one person. I want you to send them a message using this framework called BLUF, which is bottom line upfront. Bottom line upfront goes a little bit something like this. I know you've been curious about Jigsaw HQ before. Life must have gotten in the way. Are you ready to make business guidance a priority now? Simple, straightforward. It's not rude. It's not pushy, but it is very clear. Hey, I want to know whether you are still interested. Please draft this message and send it to that one person to build some momentum in your sales. Okay, so you have the next 90 seconds. I'm going to go on mute. It's just for you to actually send this message. Please, on the Zoom chat, share once you have shared this message and sent it out to start building some sales momentum. You have half your time, 45 seconds to go. Please don't try and elaborate this message, get it perfect, make sure it's the greatest message the world has ever seen. Just get the message out. Let's go. I want to see a few dones on the Zoom chat. If you're taking too long, it means you're thinking too much and doing too little. So let's send out the message. Bottom line up front. Simple sentence, one question. Thanks, Rashmi. Well done. My timer has gone off. It's making lots of noise. Okay. We have got one in and one on the buzzer, two on the buzzer. Okay. This is the last time I don't have too much time to be nice with all of you. So this is my one time of being nice. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds to finish this. Okay. Bonus 20 seconds to get it out. Okay. Now with this activity, if any of you get responses from this person during the workshop, I need you to share it on the chat. Okay. If you get any response, positive or negative, I want you to share it on the chat, because when you share things like this, it gives you momentum and it gives everybody else momentum as well. So you're contributing to your own and everybody else's growth, right? Okay, that is sales mindset number one. Focus. Focus on the goal, focus on a product, focus on the numbers, focus on specific people, and focus on being in action, not thinking too much. Okay. Let's now move to sales mindset number two, inspired by superhero number two. This superhero is far more popular than the one I find my favorite. This superhero is Iron Man. Okay. I want you to share with me what is your guess of the superpower we are going to focus on, because I know there are 300 superpowers this guy has. I can't focus on all of them, and I can't say be a billionaire as like my next mindset to be good at sales. Okay. What are your guesses? Tech, belief. Yeah, Tarun. Got it. What else? Strength. Yeah. Yeah, attractive. That would be great, right? Imagine I was running this workshop and I was like, second step, guys, just all be attractive and life will be great. No, that's unfortunately not what I'm going to focus on today. The thing that I feel like is Iron Man's superpower above everything is confidence in any situation. Whatever happens, he's confident. Now, this does not mean you have to magically become confident, because that doesn't happen. Confidence is not just something you snap your fingers and you're like, oh, wow, I'm confident now. You have to build confidence. Okay. So what we're going to do is understand how to build confidence and start building some confidence today. According to me, confidence comes from two things: clarity of thought, knowing what you need to say. Okay. So clarity about what to say when you're selling, and the courage to say it out loud. If both of these come together, you will build confidence. If you know what you have to say and you start saying it, you are going to build confidence, because the more you say it, you're going to say it in more and more uncomfortable situations. You're going to get clearer and you're going to get more courageous. And if you do these two things, you will build confidence, and confidence will get you results. But you can't snap your fingers and become confident. So we are going to build confidence. Okay. Nowadays, you can't be louder than on social media. I am going to give you this option whether you want to do this activity now or not. I will just let you know when I run this workshop, people who do this activity get results by the end of the workshop. Okay, so you can decide whether you want to start building confidence now or you want to start thinking about building confidence one day. Okay, so I will walk you through the activity. If you would like, I am going to give you clarity about what to say. You have to, your only part of the bargain is to demonstrate courage in saying it. And you can say it out loud on whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever social platform you're on, that threads thing everybody's talking about. I don't know. Whatever is your platform where your people are. Okay. If you're not on these social media platforms, if it's a WhatsApp group you want to share it on, wherever it is, show the courage to share, because courage is what leads to confidence. Okay. As a perk, okay, if you all are doing it on Instagram, etc., please tag Jigsaw Thinking or Tapstart Digital. We will try and share it on stories saying, hey, this person is showing some courage. Okay, so if you all are taking on the challenge, please do that. We'll be happy to help. Okay, here is what you need to say. Here's the template. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the template. I am a. Okay, I'm going to run you through my example. You can use it as a framework. Remember, a framework is just a guide. You don't have to adhere to this 100%. You can add your personality to it. Okay, but make sure you're clear. I am Rashid. Notice what I've done here. It would be very easy to say business coach. I have added the word bootstrapped in here because it makes it a little bit different from something everybody has always heard. And it makes my target audience very, very clear. Okay, so see whether there are tweaks like that that can help you. Okay, great. I help B achieve C. Whatever product, service, etc. you sell, what you're actually selling is you're helping someone get a particular result that they want. So in my world, I've said I help bootstrapped entrepreneurs, again, hitting my target audience, achieve what is the one goal above everything I help them achieve. Please notice it is two words. It is not this, comma, this, and this. And sometimes we even help with this. It's super simple. I help B achieve C. One sentence. Okay. Please note this template down, not just for this activity, but this is a great test of whether your storytelling is good, clear, or not. And you can keep using this template to get better at it in different situations. Okay, at a dinner party, for example. Okay, next up, I understand challenge D very well. I need to build relatability with my audience. Hey, I'm not just some high funder business coach who's just randomly giving yarn. I understand your problem. So I've put in the sentence. As an entrepreneur myself, I understand how being uncertain can hold you back. So you have to put some, I'm relatable because I'm saying, hey, I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm not just some business coach. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I know what you're feeling. This also is actually not great. It's a really long sentence. So ideally, it would just be, as an entrepreneur myself, I understand how being uncertain can slow you down. Really simple. Okay. Then you're going to say, that's why I created E. Whatever that simple product or service is that we identified in mindset one, you're going to plug that in here. Okay, so in my world, I'm saying that's why I launched Jigsaw HQ. For you, it could be whatever product, whatever service, just focus on that simple one that we talked about. Okay, most popular one. Then you're going to say this product or service helps you go from F to G. It helps you go from feeling like X to feeling like Y. I want to once again, this time, it's very much like I help like achieve C, that result, except it's more like the emotional side of it. So if I'm selling, let's say fitness products, it might be I help you to take you from feeling exhausted all the time to being enthusiastic on a Monday morning. You see what I mean? Like it's just the emotion and the feeling that you're focusing on. And then finally, you have to say, find out more about this product by doing X. So in our world, I've kept it simple and said, explore the world of Jigsaw HQ by DMing us business confidence. So give your audience a clear call to action. So let's recap this mindset. Building confidence is a combination of having the clarity of saying, knowing what you want to say, and the courage to say it. What I have tried to provide you with is a template for clarity. What I cannot provide you with is courage. What I can provide you with is a safe space and time to build confidence by showing courage. So what we're going to do again is I'm going to give you 90 seconds. In these 90 seconds, I want you to share your version of this in the most courageous way you know possible. That could be on social media, that could be on a WhatsApp group, that could be anywhere. If you are doing it on social media or Instagram, I think Suranjika has even shared the Tapstar Digital handle. Okay. You can tag Tapstar Digital. We'll try and encourage you and amplify your reach as well. And you can tag Jigsaw Thinking. We'll do the same. Okay. So if you would like to, please go ahead and do that now. If you have decided not to, it's not the end of the world. It would be great, but it's not the end of the world. Please share somewhere. Don't leave this on your notepad in your head saying, wow, what an interesting activity. Someday, one day, I'm definitely going to do this. Okay. Madhumita, there is no, I cannot, put handcuffs and say you have to do this or any. If you would like to, please go ahead and post it on social media. If not, please share it on a WhatsApp group, family group, wherever, somewhere where you're demonstrating some courage. Okay. I'm going to give you 90 seconds now. Please don't worry about doing it amazingly. It's seeming perfect. I'll spend the next 3 hours doing it. All you're doing is creating more friction between you and courage. Okay. So 90-second timer. I'll just start it now. Remember again, this is a framework. It doesn't have to be perfect.
What do we have to do?
Yes. So this piece, this template, please apply it to your business and obviously build your script. You can use all the parts of the template or a few parts of the template, whatever is most relevant for you. Based on that template, I want you to share it as a story on Instagram, a post on LinkedIn, or at least on a WhatsApp group. Because I want you to start getting into the habit of sharing this in uncomfortable places. Because then you will build confidence. All we were saying is if you are sharing it on Instagram, you can tag Tapstart Digital TST Community, I think it is, Suranjika has clarified, or Jigsaw Thinking, or both, and then we will try and reshare it to reward you for your courage. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it, man, I'm very nice. Okay, I'm going to give it a bonus 30 seconds. All right. Okay, I'm just going to call it there on time. If you shared it, amazing. If you are in the process of sharing it, I will believe it when I see it on social media. Okay. Or anywhere else, please share with us. If you're not doing it on social media, but you're doing it somewhere else, please DM us with a screenshot of it. We'd really love to encourage you and motivate you to keep doing stuff like this because it's important, because confidence doesn't just magically happen. You have to keep doing stuff like this if you want to build confidence. Okay. Are we ready to move to sales mindset 3 and superpower 3? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Rashmi, thank you. Sanjana, you've asked for 30 seconds. I am going to be the nicest person the world has ever seen and give you the 30 seconds. Okay. But everybody has to remember what a nice, wonderful person I am. Okay. All right. Now I am okay with you hating me if you have to hate me, but I have to end the time to do this activity and we will move on to sales mindset number 3. Okay. Sales mindset number 3 is hero number 3. I think it would be weird to have a story about the Avengers without the guy who says Avengers assemble eventually. So we're going to learn from Captain America. What is Captain America's superpower that you think we're going to talk about today? And before anyone says it, no, it's not having a magical shield. Okay. Tarun, being a good leader, yeah, maybe next time I will make it that, but it's not that this time. Shield from negative thoughts, I like that. Leadership, what else? This is one of those where I'll keep going till I get the answer I want, even though your answers are all right. Okay. So give it 10 more seconds. Consistency, close, getting closer. Anyone? Okay, what else could it be? Never say die. I will take that as close to the answers we're going to get. Okay, the superpower we're going to focus on is resilience. Okay. I know you must have read lots of books and seen lots of YouTube shorts and videos about, power of resilience, and entrepreneurs need to be resilient. It's never more important than in sales. Here's why. If you are selling, it means you are putting yourself out there over and over again and getting rejected over and over again. That's just a fact. The best salespeople in the world have a conversion rate of 1 in 3, which means they get rejected twice as many times as they make the sale. So the fact is that if you are selling actively, you are going to get rejected. So there cannot be a situation where you're like, how do I come up with the greatest sales process the world has ever seen and the best product so that everybody says yes all the time? It's just never going to happen. So let's not live in la la land. Let's come back to reality. You are going to get rejected more than you're going to make sales. If that is true, that means that if we have a fear of rejection, what are we going to do? We're going to either go slow with sales or we're going to avoid sales altogether. So I want you to think about your last week, okay, the week that just passed. And I want you to think about how many times you told yourself or somebody else, I just didn't get time to do sales. I just got so busy. This client requirement came up and then accounting at the end of the month and then this and then that. I just didn't get a chance. I am here to be the bad guy and unfortunately tell you that you probably weren't busy. You were just avoiding this fear of rejection. So you found loads of different things to take up your time and your energy instead of focusing on sales. Because if you focus on sales, it means getting rejected, and being rejected is hard. It feels bad, especially as the entrepreneur. It feels very personal. It feels like people are rejecting you. So you avoid it and you go very slow on sales because there's only a certain amount of rejection you can take every week. So what we have to do is learn how to combat this rejection. And the only way to combat rejection and a fear of rejection is with resilience, which means getting up after we get rejected. That's it. There's no other way to combat this fear of rejection. It is only through building resilience. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you set up a little game for yourself that you can play for the rest of the week, for next week, which is going to help you build resilience. Now, this one, I can't give you time to do the game here and all of these things. So I will just go on trust. If you are playing this game, you will build resilience. You will make more sales. You don't play this game, you won't build resilience. You'll make less sales. So it's up to you on whether you want to do this. The game we're going to play is something called the rejection game, where the objective of the game is to get rejected. If you get rejected, you are winning the game. If you are not getting rejected, you are losing the game. Okay, so we're going to set up the rejection game. Here are the rules of the rejection game. Okay, rule number 1 is I want you to choose a target number of rejections, not a target number of sales you want to make this week. I want you to note down how many rejections are you going to try and get next week. This number should be a number that you feel if you get rejected so many times, you'll have to get comfortable with rejection. There won't be a choice only. So if your answer right now is I will get 1 rejection next week, please know that it will take you the next 19 years to build resilience. And by that time, AI would have taken over your product or service. So there's no point going at that pace. So there has to be a genuine number that you feel if I get rejected these many times and I am winning the game at those many rejections, I'll start feeling more comfortable with rejection. So everyone, please put down your number. Okay. Second thing I need you to do is choose a time constraint. I am giving you this time constraint. Your time constraint is 1 week. You have Saturday to Saturday to get these rejections. Please don't make this a 3-month game. Otherwise, you'll forget all about it. In 3 months, we'll all be thinking about Diwali. We're not going to be thinking about rejections. Okay. So choose a time constraint. It's 1 week. No choose. I should edit this slide. Your time constraint is 1 week. Next thing you're going to do is I want you to choose a target group because we're going to learn from focus, right? Our focus mindset says that if I focus on one group of an audience, I'll get my rejections faster. And that's the goal of the game, to get rejected. So an example of a target group would be the ghosters. Ghosters, for those of you who are not aware what it is people who were like, oh my God, what a product you have to sell. I love it. I love it. I love it. Then suddenly 3 months later, you're like, hello, is anybody there? And they're not saying anything. Those are the ghosters. So one of my target groups, whenever I play this game, I start with the ghosters because I know they're the most likely to reject me. And here is the message I send them. I literally give them 3 options. Do you want to restart our conversation? Tell me to back off or continue ghosting us. And my goal, remember my goal. My goal is to get rejections. I want people to choose option B. Because the more they choose option B, the more rejections, more resilience, more sales. Okay. Himani, your question, can we be so blunt? Fair question. The reason why I am this blunt is I would rather get a no from them than no conversation with them at all. Getting no's is very important to a business and to growth of an entrepreneur because the objective should be to get no's fast. My version is to ask it upfront because it gets me rejections. Remember the goal, okay? For those of you who ask me, is this blunt, is this too upfront? Remember the goal. The goal is to get rejected. Send a message that you think will lead to a rejection. It's a complete bonus if it leads to a, hey, wait a minute, I'm still interested. The more freely you play and try and get the rejection, the more likely you will get a lead back into your system and a lead to make a sale. It feels very counterintuitive, but the more you do that, the more it's going to work. It's like, in a really, funny analogy, it's like people always say, if you're looking to date someone, like don't message them too much. Be away from them. They suddenly want to gravitate towards you and say, why does this person? So when you send this to your client, imagine you got a message like this from me. You might spend 1 second thinking, who is this crazy guy? Why is he being this rude? You might spend that 1 second. If it's crazy enough, you might say, no, thanks. And you're really rude. And that for me is I won. I got my rejection. But there's a slight chance that you'd go, you know what? Maybe growing my business now is a better time. And if this person cares enough to follow up with me at this time, maybe I should. Okay. So what I want you to do, again, we're going to spend 30 seconds because we don't just like to talk in this workshop. We like to do things. I want you to choose one person and I want you to send your version of this message. You don't have to send the exact message I've sent if you don't feel comfortable. Nobody is going to force you. Okay? But send one person, one message and see if you get any type of response. Okay. Yeah, Juhi, absolutely right. The whole point is they're in inertia. So you've got to, we all know the scientific rule, right? An object at rest will remain at rest unless applied by an external force. You have to be the external force. Your lead is the object. If you don't put some force, there's going to be zero movement. Why should there be? We are sitting, waiting around being like, oh, one day, Razia, Manasa will all get back to me. I'll wait for this day. It's going to be magical. Nothing like this is going to happen unless you put in no word. Okay. So let's spend 30 seconds on this. Okay. And this one, I can't give bonus time because I have to be good on time. Because your community leaders are very specific that timing is important. And I love that. That's great.
We have to send this target, this message to target group, right?
Yeah, send it to the target group or at least one person within the target group to get
Okay.
started.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about having to send it to like 40 people. Just start. It's more important to get started than get it right. Just start. Wonderful things happen when you start things and momentum builds automatically. Okay. All right, 10 more seconds. One message, one line. Remember, you're playing for rejections. Any leads or sales are a bonus. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Anirudh. Well done. I wish you all the very best in your journey towards getting a rejection quickly. Okay. Cool, Rashmi. Well done. Thank you. 3 out of 3 for you. Thank you, Priyanshu, Jyotsna. Well done. Great. Again, notice what we're doing is combining all of the superpowers with each other. We're combining a bit of focus, a bit of courage with resilience, and your resilience will help you stay focused. A lot of things can have crossover. Okay. All right. Let us summarize our 3 mindsets and 3 superpowers. Like I said, if you do these 3 things and build these 3 mindsets, 80% of your results will take care of themselves. Number 1, focus. Without focus, you're going to be distracted. You're not going to know where you're heading. Your energy is going to be all over the place. Focus on a particular goal, a particular product, a particular set of people. It's the most likely way to get you sales. The second superpower is building confidence. Don't wait for the magical moment where you're going to get confidence suddenly. Confidence comes through clarity and courage. Always seek out opportunities, prepare to be clear, do the prep work, and seek out opportunities where you can demonstrate your courage. The more you demonstrate, the more comfortable things are going to be. I didn't suddenly get confident about running this workshop. Right? I was clear. I did lots of prep. I built courage by doing it with 2 people, then 5 people, then 10 people, then 20, then 30, then whatever. Right? Otherwise, I don't just randomly, oh, I'm confident. Doesn't happen. Third is combat rejection with resilience, but know that rejection is your friend and it is here to stay. It is as permanent as your shadow. It is not going anywhere. So you might as well learn how to live with your shadow and enjoy with your shadow as opposed to run away from it. Because if you run away from it, all the confidence in the world and all the focus in the world is not going to get you consistent sales. These 3 superpowers have to go together. Okay. What I'm going to do now is, I know we're close to 12 o'clock. So can I have your permission to just share a little bit about Jigsaw for 2 minutes? And then I will take any questions that are required. Is that okay? Can you all again just share on the chat if that's okay? Okay. Yes. I'll once again wait for a few more, 50%. Okay, great. So I'll just give you the headlines about Jigsaw. It won't take more than 3-4 minutes max. Basically at Jigsaw, we've worked with more than 1,000 entrepreneurs now, all bootstrapped. Well, 99.9% of them bootstrapped over the last 4 years. Just to give you a flavor of the type of people, we work with freelancers who are earning even less than 1 lakh and are looking to grow their income like Amir. We have a community with business owners who are earning a consistent income as solopreneurs, but are looking to start building a team like Twani has. And we work with product owners, business owners who might be more established, are looking to strategically scale one vertical within their business, like Pukraj was looking to scale her online sales. I will keep things really simple in terms of how we work. We focus on 5 things. We basically built an accelerator for bootstrapped entrepreneurs. First thing is clarity on goals. We help you set clear goals every year, every quarter, every month, every week. We have an accountability system to make sure that you're not alone on your journey towards these goals, so that you have somebody with you and a system with you so that you actually take action. We have some learning initiatives every week. Experts come in, me and other experts, so that you can learn. We have a platform where you can ask questions anytime. So you don't only have to go to GPT, you can also go to people who have relevant experience. And you build business buddies. We try and help you collaborate with people. Okay. I'll keep that really short and simple just so that you have an overview of what happens at Jigsaw. If you would like to have a conversation about Jigsaw, I've just shared a QR code which will start a WhatsApp conversation with us. If you would like to, you can just scan the WhatsApp QR code, or I think it should be on the chat as well on a link. You can start a WhatsApp conversation with us. We can understand a little bit more about you as an entrepreneur, as a business. see whether Jigsaw HQ or anything else is a fit for you or not. Right. So I'll just leave that there. Would love, of course, to have follow-up conversations with you, and that can start via WhatsApp. But now I know we are 12:01. I have tried, Suranjika, Amrit, as much as possible to hit my 12 time limit. You will have to forgive me for the extra 1 minute. If you and the community are up for it, I'm more than happy to stick back for another 5-10 minutes to answer questions. I will leave that to you.
I think Q&A session जो होता है वो attendees, entrepreneurs या हमारे members का हक होता है, तो I can't take it away from them. So
Sure.
it's open for the members. Questions from the community.
Yes,
You
please.
you can unmute yourself if you want to ask something, and or you can drop a question in the chat. And until we find someone coming ahead, lovely session, Rashid. I learned a lot personally. All the three things that you touched upon really, really. I do have that kind of this issue that that fear of failure or fear of getting rejected, and that's what stops. And the thing that I learned, or the thing that I loved the most, is that if you befriend rejection, so you do that exercise more often. And I think what happens along with this is what we are looking at is sales, or getting positive responses. Lovely. And Rashid has built an excellent space for entrepreneurs, and we believe the more such people are out there in the ecosystem, the better it is for entrepreneurs. So great going, Rashid. Do check out Jigsaw Thinking, guys. Drop your questions. We have
Rashid, I wanted to ask,
Priyanshu.
I got my first rejection after sending that rude message. So, but the client listed his specific reasons as to why he was not able to continue. So what should be my response to that? What should be the ideal response now?
Firstly, congratulations on your first rejection
Thank
and
you.
for demonstrating that courage. So that's great. This is what happens consistently, and I didn't want to do almost a spoiler of what happens. Normally, either people continue ghosting or they reject you, but those are the worst cases. The best cases are you get insights like this, or somebody says, I'm back and I want to think about it, right? And if that is the best case, and the worst case is just not getting a response or getting someone to say no, that's great. So firstly, thanks so much for sharing this, what's happening live. In terms of what your response should be, I would be very grateful to them for firstly being someone to clearly reject you and not making you spend more time on them. And I think you should acknowledge that for them, because that is wonderful. And the second is I would definitely acknowledge them for these insights. What I would do is I would use them as I would ask them whether there is an opportunity for me to have a more extensive conversation with them to understand this feedback better, so that it makes you a better entrepreneur or whatever service or product you are doing. So my immediate response would be, thank you so much. This is very useful. I will incorporate this feedback. I know I'm getting greedy, but would you happen to be okay to spend 15 minutes talking me through this stuff? I really want to learn and become better as an entrepreneur. Right. So that's how I would do it. And it's really funny. Relationships like this, 3-4 years from now, will lead to 20 different referrals towards your business, because this person will never forget this interaction, because nobody else is having this interaction with them. Right. So that's how I would go in terms of next steps.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
We have Jyotsna asking that 70% of our clients are head of HR and corporates. Head HR of corporates. Would you recommend me doing anything different with this target audience?
Not at all. Because when you are selling to corporates, people make the mistake of thinking they're selling to corporates or the building or the name of the business. You're not. You're selling to a person who happens to be the head of HR in a corporate. Right. So I don't think anything changes. The same rules apply. Back in our first year, when Jigsaw Thinking didn't have as much focus as I've presented here today, and we were doing absolutely everything, all business was good business. Wherever we got money, we were taking money. We used to do employee engagement for corporates as well. These type of techniques worked wonderfully with the HR leads of corporates as well. I wouldn't change a thing, because basic human nature doesn't change. The fundamentals of business don't change no matter what industry or space you're in. So nothing specific. The one sort of maybe hack to getting HRs on board is don't sell just your service. Also sell how it will help them get recognized within the corporate. So what we did when we sold is we didn't just sell an employee engagement program. We also sold saying we are going to document statistics over the next month of the impact of this program for on your behalf, and we're going to get a videographer to video it. And here is the draft message you are going to send to your CEO in 1 month's time from you. And the person like was very excited because it wasn't just for the program, it was also for them. So remember, you are always selling to people. And if you help them, they are going to want to help you. Right? So that's what I would say to that, Jyotsna. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you so much. From Sanjana, we are only just building our logistics and have not started our sales activities yet. Can you suggest the channel I can use for this rejection game?
Okay, so Sanjana, this might require a 3-hour-long conversation, but I'll give you the 30-second answer. So please forgive me if it's not enough information. According to me, whatever business line you're in, you can sell before you have a product or you can deliver. So I don't think I want to answer your question, because the question I would be asking is, how might I start selling? So I would start your sales activities with less risky potential clients, figure out who less risky are, where you can practice your pitch, figure out whether what you are building will actually help them solve clients. Worst case, you will get rejected and people say you don't have a business only and you're pitching. Best case, you will get a client before you have an entire system set up. Right. And so that should be your channel to get rejections. Having actual sales conversations is the only way to get rejected. So I would make this as real as possible in order to get these rejections. Yeah, we can discuss that perhaps more in depth another time, but that would be my headline.
Great. Tarun Makhija and Alicia have got their hands raised. So Tarun, going with you, and then we can talk to Alicia.
Thank you, Amrit, and thank you, Raashid. It's been lovely meeting you since, I think, 7 months that I know you of, in person, in online. I love somebody's feedback. They said clarity, humor, specific. You're very to the point. I love that about you. So a specific question I have for you, because you mentioned specifically select only one thing. So I am doing 3 things right now: consulting, training, and speaking. Digital marketing consultation for brands and agencies, corporate training and education, and public speaking. So how like, should I not add 3 things in my introduction, or what should we do?
Great question. And this is something I have lived through personally as well, because again, towards the end of that first year, I thought I had all the focus in the world, because I went from doing 1,000 things to doing 3 things and saying, here are my 3 things. I work with corporates, I work with educational institutions, I work with entrepreneurs. The way I would think about it is always think about what is my path of least resistance towards my goal. So instead of having a conceptual answer of 1 versus 2 versus 3, my question would be, for my goal, which is my path of least resistance? And I would map out, if I was just selling A, what would my path be? If I was just selling B, what would my path be? If I was just selling C, what would my path be? What would the paths be if it was a combination of A, B? You know what I mean in terms of permutations, combinations, right? So I would think of it as Google Maps gives you those multiple routes to get to your goal. First, map out the multiple routes. And then the question is really simple. Out of all of these paths, which path is least resistance? I think if you detail it out in terms of what activities you have to do to get to it, and you actually go into what does this mean for my marketing activities, sales activities, etc., what you will find inevitably is that focusing on one thing is always simpler than focusing on 3. And so the way we started evolving is we focused just on entrepreneurs, and lo and behold, magically, educational institutions and corporates every now and then came to us. We didn't have to do our marketing and our sales towards them. We didn't have to focus. So 80% of our goals were achieved from our focus. 20% of our goals were achieved based on other inquiries coming in, because why would we say no to stuff we are good at and we can be paid well for? But that wasn't our focus. So the difference is between actively focusing on something and passively taking advantage of opportunity. I'm not saying don't do the second. I'm just saying make sure you do the first thing. Right? That's how I would think about this, Tarun.
Lovely. Alisha, please go ahead.
Hi, Rashid. Thank you for the lovely session. I got a lot of insights on my brand, I would say that. And my question is that, like, see, I am into a home care product. So people are using my product. So, like, I just need to know that how do I pitch in people that if you've used my product, please let us know a feedback. Because, see, a feedback is very important for us to improve our brand or to improve our product or whatever it is. Like, I need some noise from the market. If they're buying it, they should give me a feedback is what I'm looking for. People do it, but there are very less people who actually, have used it or really want to get back to me. So how do I pitch in that? Like, when you speak to a client, you can't force them that please give me a review or please let me know how was your feedback about it. So I am
Yep.
just stuck in that situation, like how to do it.
What is the specific thing you are asking your clients right now to do to give you feedback? When and what do you ask them?
So I just get to know from my database that these people have taken the product. So my team actually messages them after a week of purchase that if you've used our product, we would like to hear a feedback from you. That's a
Got it.
very
Okay.
simple line we are doing.
Got it. Okay. So the way I would think, and the reason why I was asking for that specification, and this might be useful to others as well. Anytime you have a particular goal, in your case, your goal is to get feedback, you have to run experiments towards that goal to see, okay, which of these experiments is going to work. The experiment you are running right now, which is to send the message, is not giving you results. So my question, the follow-up question would be, what are 2 or 3 other experiments you can run to get feedback? Because right now what you're saying is, I'm doing the message, this is my current approach. But what we should be thinking about is, okay, over the next month, I'm also going to try these experiments. So let's say there are 100 people who bought your product. Okay, let's keep the math simple. Okay, 100 people. What I would do is right now, 100 of them are getting the message. What I would do is split them into 4 groups. And for 25 of them, I would send the message because they're your control group, like a science experiment. 25 of them get the normal message. 25 of them get an email. 25 of them get a WhatsApp. 25 of them get a call. And then at the end of those 100, I would just document my data and I would say, okay, this experiment worked better than that experiment. So now we are going to do this to get feedback and reviews. So in every situation, whatever challenge you have to think, what's my goal? What am I doing right now? Is it working? Is it not? What are other experiments? How will I track the data of those experiments? And so every week for all of you actually should just be, what experiments am I running this week? What's my focus area this week? What experiments am I running this week? Every week should have experiments because that's how you grow, right? Because entrepreneurship is uncertain. And the best way to deal with uncertainty is to experiment your way through uncertainty, not think your way through uncertainty, right? So you have to just keep trying different things and seeing which works and tracking data. Hope that's helpful, Alicia.
Thank you so much. Yes, it would. I will start doing a different set of things and hopefully I should get some response from somebody and it will work.
Please keep us posted.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Razia, please go ahead.
I just wanted to share that I sent a message when I was asked to send, and I got a call from that person, and that person has confirmed an order also. So I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. Did you do it? Was this the rejection exercise or the
No, the
first
first
exercise?
The first exercise. The first.
Fantastic. Congratulations. This is so
Thank
great to
you.
hear. Thanks for sharing that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just remember you took about 3 minutes to do that action.
Yes.
So let's Monday morning, the first 30 minutes should be doing this action 10 more times. Right? And even if it leads to 3 orders, not 10 orders, you're winning.
Thank
Right?
you so much.
Great. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing and congrats.
Lovely. Rashid, there's one last question
Sure.
Shailaja has shared with me.
Yeah.
When we are investing money behind marketing or sales, what should be the kind of return that one must expect from the investment? For example, either a 30% or a 10% in X number of months. So what is your view on that?
Yeah, so this question comes up often. Here's how I can tell you how I think about it and what's worked for me and for the entrepreneurs in our community. What we normally do for any marketing or sales activity is we always have, we pick a amount of time. The amount of time changes based on the elaborateness of the experiment. So if I give you an example, if I'm thinking about getting a digital marketing agency on board to working with, working with me, that is an elaborate experiment, right? So it requires a lot of investment of time, focus, attention, etc. So my timeline for that is a little bit longer. So I might put that timeline as 3 months. The way I assess it on internally is in 3 months' time, am I getting to break even or am I getting signals that we are breaking even on the investment? So for example, if a marketing agency says, I'll keep the example super simple. Let's say marketing agency says 1 lakh a month is what we charge. My goal would be at the end of those 3 months, have activities because of this marketing agency led to 3 lakhs worth of business for Jigsaw. So the standard is not give me a huge return, anything, because it takes time for all of these things to give results and returns. But my expectation and the result I would share with this agency as well would be, hey, I want to break even on this investment at the end of 3 months. If you're telling me to do ads and all of that on top of that, that is part of the investment. So if they tell me to do ads for 1 lakh, I would say, okay, I need to make 4 lakhs worth of sales at the end of 3 months. So break even. After you hit that break even point, right, of where you go, then you can start having results and demands to say, okay, I need X amount of return on my investment. On any type of investment, if you are getting 3 to 5 times return on your investment, you are doing great. So if I was hiring someone, let's say just for sales, okay, and they were charging me 1 lakh a month and I was making sales worth 3 to 5 lakhs a month because of them, that's a great investment, because I'm getting between 3 to 5 times on my money. But the first 3 months, I can't go and demand this person, start from day one and be a superstar. So you have to just be mindful of when you're doing these type of budgets and experiments, that there is always a time period to get to break even. And then after that time period to get towards 3 to 5x. And as long as you're getting signals that you're heading in that direction, that's a good investment, right? I know there are many other nuances of investments, but those would be that's my principle in terms of how I think about any investment, financial investment. Hope that was helpful.
Lovely. Any more questions, or are we good to wrap up the session? All right, lovely. So, Raashid, this has been a wonderful session. I would like to see you on the screen. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Do I stop share? Maybe that'll make it easier.
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
No
Yeah.
worries. So, Raashid, on behalf of the entire community, I'm just taking the liberty and voicing it out. Session was super helpful, super useful. A lot of value add. We're taking away a lot of things, and saying for myself as well. Thank you so much for doing this. We look forward to more such sessions with you. And folks, Rashid is building a great space for bootstrap entrepreneurs. So do have a chat with him and explore how there could be synergies and how you can grow. While having said that, there are a few new names in the session today. So if y'all have not joined, y'all are not a part of TST community, do connect with Suranjika or me on LinkedIn. We would love to have you in our community. And until then, I think, Rashid, any closing statements from you, and then we can wrap up. I hope your experience was good with us.
Yeah, no, I had a really good time. The engagement and interaction is always the high point, and really great to see certain results coming in, whether those were clients or rejections. So I'm glad that there was impact. I think in closing statements, I would just keep it really simple. Just turn all of this intention into action, because you thinking about this stuff in your head is not going to get you results. So even if you're doing it messily in a chaotic way, it's not perfect. I would just advise being in action. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Just constantly being in action, not being in your head all of the time. There's a time to think and a time to do. But being in action is what's going to get you results. So that would be the only thing I leave you with.
Great, lovely. Today's masterclasses retention was excellent. So all the members who joined in stuck around till the end. So it's a great thing, Rashid, that it was a wonderful session. Once again, thank you so much on behalf of the entire community. And thank you so much, all of you all, for joining us on this weekend. I think that's about it. Have a great weekend, all of you all, until the next masterclass that we talk about in the community. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes. And so Ranjika, once again, thank you so much for coming.